So the question is about partial nephrectomy, especially how to dissect the vessels and what are the precautions has to be done, and then is there any role of non-clamping partial nephrectomy? So renal hilar dissection for multiple vessel tips and tricks. I'll be going through, what is available in literature, and then I'll tell you what sometime we do. So always consider having CT angiogram in such cases because then you will be wiser and you can expect the difficulty, anticipate the difficulty situation when you are going for the robotic partial. Use all forearms because then with forearm you can give it retraction or it can cause the counter traction and you can have more space to work. You can see better if you have forearm. Otherwise, you have to use very expert assistant, which sometime may not be available. The bloodless field should be there if possible, as much as possible. Should not, hurry when you are operating such cases. On either side, beginning dissection should be along the major vessels like aorta or IVC. From there, you can define all the vessels and then go up into the hilum. Use both blunt and sharp dissection and go slow. That's the mantra. Any difficulty in finding the vessel, you can set the light in the console, contrast, light intensity, hue. They should be checked. And IC is very helpful. It depends if you have that robot. ICG may not be in all the robots. So in that case, you can't use it. Otherwise, if you have ICG, it is really helpful. Now, extreme polar tumor are there, then you can not, there is no need to dissect whole of the kidney. You can just dissect the hilum and that part of the kidney rather than dissecting whole of the kidney. And if the renal vein or gonadal vein or anything is coming in the way, you can definitely clamp and cut them to get the more space. But some final master tip is if it is not possible and you feel that you may injure, you can clamp whole of the hilum with the mass clamping, vessel clamp. The clamping technique is no clamp technique. I will be talking about this indications. And here you do not clamp the artery or vein at all. And it is easily used in a small peripheral tumor or in open partial nephrectomy. On-demand ischemia is that generally is offered for the single kidney situation or CKD where renal ischemia needs to be limited. Here you start dissecting the tumor, and when you feel that you bleeding is more, you can clamp. Otherwise, there is no need. You can go ahead with the non-clamping technique. Early unclamping is same way. You clamp the artery and dissect the tumor. You take the first layer of the suture to the tumor bed, and then you can release the clamp, and then you say this will be lowering the ischemia time, but it may lead to some higher blood loss, which actually not very significant most of the time. And there is a parenchymal clamping, especially designed clamps to aid laparoscopic compression of the parenchyma have been used, and indication has been again peripheral exophatic tumors. Now, the clamping techniques are selective and super selective clamping. This has been like zero ischemia time, and it has not proven any superiority over other lowering the other technique which lower the warm ischemia. But it is a fascinating technique done by few surgeons in the world, and one has to dissect into the hilum, take the selective, super selective vessels, and then cut there, then reflect the tumor from hilum, especially in the hilum. It is doable, and then go for the tumor removal of the tumor. But then there is a other technique that you can just clamp the renal artery alone. There is no need to clamp the vessel depending on the tumor, where large tumor or a small tumor. And then global ischemia when you clamp both artery and renal vein, and usually becomes necessary in case of large hilar tumor in the proximity of renal vein. Most of the tumor which are in the hilum or posteriorly, it is better to clamp both renal artery and vein. Only that you must be careful that you are clamping all the artery there. If you're not clamping, if some artery is you are missing, then there will be, when you clamp the vein, there will be a increase in the bleeding rather than decrease. There are some useful adjuncture in rare situation like intracorporeal regional hypothermia has been described. You can put ice slush and then reduce the temperature to 16 degree, which sometimes helps when you have expect a large warm ischemia time. This can help. Then there is a pre-operative supraselective transarterial embolization. If you have a very good and interventional oncology, radiologist, he can do this for you just before surgery, or you can have controlled hypotension, like mean arterial pressure should be less than 60, and you can increase the pneumo to 20 so that you can, the bleeding from the vein will stop, and this will cause the a good bloodless field. Clamping instruments, you all know they are the bulldogs. The best bulldog in the world are from Schillen. Otherwise, you can have from Esculap or Indian bulldog also. They are cheaper. Then there's a large Satinsky clamp also like this, but they are used mainly in the laparoscopy. And then you have to make an extra port for these suture, these Satinsky clamps, rather than going for any existing port. Now, indication for non-clamp partial nephrectomy are small peripheral exophatic tumor, even with both normal kidneys. People have described, people do it routinely. It's not a big deal. You can do that. Functional and anatomical solitary kidney, where you want that warm ischemia time, you should not lose. You don't want any injury to the kidney of ischemia time, so you can do the. You should offer non-clamping partial nephrectomy. Pre-existing CKD or patient had proteinuria, which means that his kidney function will worsen after that partial nephrectomy. Then also you should try to do non-clamping partial nephrectomy. Multiple bilateral tumors again, and the familial RCC. Familial RCC most of the time they are multiple and bilateral. So comorbidity which may predispose to the deficient renal function, everywhere you should try to do non-clamping partial nephrectomy. And you must make sure that you have a good suction, you have expert surgeon, the assistant is very good. Otherwise, you can land up in mesh, and increase the pneumo to 20 so that the venous bleed is not there. And best actually another thing is which can help you is air seal in this situation. These are the rhinorrhaphy technique. I'll not go in detail of this thing. So this is from my side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving excellent overview of how to control the hilum and various means of controlling the hilum. So now we'll move on to, after controlling the hilum, how to mobilize the kidney, to what extent we should mobilize. For upper pole tumor, how much we should mobilize. For lower pole tumor, for posterior, to give us some insights about the extent of dissection of the kidney for various location of the tumors. Also, I would also request him to comment on this situation we have come across in our routine practice. After nice dissection of the hilum, once we clamp, everything is fine. Once you start resecting the tumor, profuse bleeding could be encountered. So what are those situations? How to deal with those situations? I request Dr. Gagan to throw some light on all these aspects. Dr. Gagan?
Thank you very much for these questions. I think the first question is relatively easy to answer, especially when it comes to posterior tumors. More is less. I don't think we can actually, especially if you're going, doing a conventional transperitoneal robotic procedure or a laparoscopic procedure, I don't think you can get away with not mobilizing the kidney completely, especially for the posterior tumors. I think more or less tumor kidney almost completely. If the tumor is located in the lower pole and it's anteriorly placed, you may be able to get away without mobilizing the upper pole of the kidney. If you have a tumor situated in the anterior hilum, you may not require any mobilization posteriorly to a large extent. The other question that you wanted to ask me, I think, was to look at the situation where you're doing a partial nephrectomy and you end up clamping it, and when you start cutting, there is profuse bleeding. I think there are only two reasons for that. One possible reason is that the arterial vasculature has not been clamped completely. So maybe because of old age and atherosclerotic arteries, there is not a complete occlusion of the renal artery because of which the bleeding has occurred, and in which case it is a good standard practice to apply 2 bulldogs in the artery rather than a single bulldog, because a single bulldog may not be able to compress the artery at all the time. So if you put 2 bulldogs, you may be able to prevent it. And the second, which is the more likely scenario, is that you have missed an accessory artery because of which the bleeding is going on. I think if you have separately dissected out the renal vein and the renal artery, one of the first steps that you can do is unclamp the renal vein. Unclamping the renal vein will decrease bleeding to some extent because there will be some outflow from the kidney once the with the blood that's going in through the accessory artery. But even after that, if you feel that the bleeding is so much that one is not able to proceed with the surgery, then I think having a standby Setinsky clamp is a pretty good idea. If the kidney has been mobilized nicely, you can put a Setinsky clamp across the entire hilum, taking the artery, all the possible branches of the artery, and 99% of the time the bleeding will subside because of that. But in this also, prevention is better than cure. A good mobilization of the kidney, a complete flipping of the kidney, being able to see the vasculature from behind, and especially if you've taken a vessel loop around the hilum, being able to see that vessel loop from behind after flipping the kidney will make sure that you have not missed any accessory vessel and will avoid landing in a situation like this.
Thank you.